From the cold storm-lashed shores of Scandinavia, where fjords cut into mountains and longships rest on icy waters, a name rises from the mists of legend. Ragnar Lothbrok. Farmer. Raider. King. A man whose story stands at the crossroads of history and myth. Ragnar's tale begins in the 9th century, during the Viking Age, a time when Norsemen pushed beyond their homelands, driven by hunger, ambition, and the lure of riches across the sea. The sagas tell us Ragnar was no ordinary man. He was said to be descended from kings, yet he lived as a farmer. But his hunger for glory could not be contained by soil and harvest. Armed with courage, cunning, and a restless spirit, Ragnar sought greatness in the only way Vikings knew by raiding. He gathered warriors, built ships, and sailed westward. His targets were monasteries along the English coast, places rich in treasure but poor in defenses. The raids were swift, brutal, and terrifying. To the English, Ragnar was a nightmare from across the sea. To his own people, he was a leader who turned hardship into opportunity. The sagas tell of Ragnar's marriages, woven with myth as much as truth. First, to Lagertha, the fierce shield maiden who fought by his side. Later to Oslaug, said to be the daughter of legendary dragon slayer Sigurd and Shield Maiden. From these unions came sons who themselves would carve history into European Ironside, who would raid as far as the Mediterranean. Ivar, the Boneless, a strategist feared across England, and Sigurd, Snake, Ei, marked by fate. Whether legend or reality, Ragnar was not just a warrior. He was the founder of a dynasty that would shape the Viking Age. But it was Ragnar's boldness that turned him from a chieftain into a legend. One saga tells how he set his sights on Paris, the great jewel of the Frankish Empire. In the year 845, with dozens of longships, Ragnar sailed up the Seine and besieged the city. The Frankish king, Charles the Bold, could not withstand the fury of the Northmen. To save his city, he paid Ragnar an enormous ransom in silver. Ragnar returned to Scandinavia not just as a raider, but as a king, enriched by the spoils of Europe's mightiest fortress. Yet glory invites danger. According to the legends, Ragnar's final voyage ended not in triumph, but in betrayal. Sailing with too few ships, he was captured by King Gla of Northumbria. His fate was cruel, cast into a pit of venomous snakes. As the serpents closed around him, Ragnar is said to have faced death with defiance, declaring how the little piglets would grunt if they knew how the old boar suffers, a prophecy that his sons would come to avenge him. And avenge him they did. The Great Heathen Army, a massive coalition of Viking warriors, led by Ragnar's sons, descended upon England in 865 CE. Towns and kingdoms fell, their fury fueled by their father's death. To the English, it was retribution. To the Vikings, it was destiny fulfilled. Yet the question remains, was Ragnar Lothbrok real? Historians debate. Some say he was a single man, a warlord who raided England and France. Others believe Ragnar is a composite figure, an amalgamation of many Viking leaders whose exploits merged into one legend. Perhaps the truth lies somewhere between. A real man whose deeds were magnified by saga, whose story grew each time it was told by firelight on long winter nights. But whether history or myth, Ragnar embodies the Viking spirit. Courage in the face of impossible odds. Ambition that reached beyond horizons. Defiance against fate itself. His sons became kings and conquerors. His raids reshaped Europe, and his legend continues to inspire centuries later. Today, Ragnar Lothbrok remains not just a figure of the Viking Age, but a symbol of its restless hunger. His saga reminds us that history is not only written in stone or parchment, it is sung, remembered, and reshaped with each telling. A farmer, a raider, a king, a myth. Ragnar Lothbrok, the man who became legend.